So this is a Swift Conqueror 630, just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van, the jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site. In the front locker, we have put a gas bottle on just to demonstrate everything's working. And normally on top of your gas bottle, you'd have this valve, which you'd have in the open position to turn the gas supply on. And then as you can see, closed clockwise to turn the gas supply off. The fitment that goes in the front of the gas bottle is a reverse thread fitment. So you would need to turn this the opposite way to a standard bottle cap, for instance, to release it. Up on the bulkhead, you've got your gas regulator and you've got your gas shut-off valve on the left-hand side here. When it's pointing towards us like it is now, that is the gas supply isolated to the caravan. Coming down the side of the caravan, you've got your Aldi heating and hot water flue, which is basically the same as the flue on the side of your house. You've got your wind-down legs on either side of the front to stabilise the caravan while it's on site. You've then got your aqua roll and the aqua roll connection. So to connect this, pull trigger back and release it from the side of the caravan, and to push it in and lock it in place. And the pickup pipe would need to be fully submerged in the water for it to pick the water up from in the aqua roll. Now at the moment it's connected so that you can run direct to the hot water tank. If you want to fill the onboard water tank, you'd need to have the pump connected to this top one, and then you connect back to the bottom so it can, leave it connected to the top one so it continuously fills that onboard water tank, which is a water storage tank. If you're just using the hot water tank, which is the way I personally recommend to use it, just connect the pump to the bottom and I'll show you how to fill it once you go inside to both connections here. Motor mover, we'll demonstrate that at the end of the video, and while you're here we'll torque the wheel nuts so you can see that they are tightened correctly. Two grey waste pipes coming out the side of the caravan is where your waste water will come out from your sinks and your shower. You'd have two bits of pipe that go into the large diameter holes, then drop down inside the waste master. Coming towards the back of the van, you've got your toilet flush tank, so you'll open this up and you'll put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid for the flush system. In the bottom, you've got your toilet waste set, you'll pull this out. Orange neck here turns out 90 degrees, so you can tip the waste away, grey cap comes off, and that is also a measure for your blue fluid. At the back of the cassette, you've got a pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away from inside of the cassette, it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. On the back of the van on either side, you've got two wind down legs again to stabilise the caravan while it's on site. Storage locker for underneath the bed at the rear of the van. Your two fridge vents, which you never cover up when you're using the van. 3-pin socket, so you've got power out to your awning. Battery box with your motor mover power switch in there, and then your barbecue gas point at the front also, and the last of the wind down legs. Coming on to the inside of the caravan now. So above the door when you come into the caravan, as you can hear the radio is working. I'm just going to turn that off before we do anything else. I think we need that on. I have just turned it down, so when you come into the van you can always turn it back up, and it is in this locker straight ahead just here. So when you first come into the caravan, you're going to need to turn on the master or the main power switch, which is just here. So as you see, power off, power on when I hit the button just here on the bottom right hand side. Dimmer level, you can actually adjust the brightness of the lights above the cabinets here, as you can see, through different percentages. Mood setting lights, as I believe they're called. You've got your awning light for the outside of the caravan. You've got your light switch for the lights above the cabinets. And then you've got your interior roof lights on the switch here, which actually turns all of the lights off inside the caravan. At the bottom here, you have your water pump run. I'll actually come back to this in a moment and show you how the system fills. First thing you're going to need to do before you actually try and fill the water system up is open all the taps up on the hot side of the water system. As you can see, I've already filled the system up. But then you're going to need to come underneath this seat at the front of the caravan. Open up the door here. And in this cabinet you will find two yellow valves. The two yellow valves need to be flat with the floor, as you see at the moment. So it allows the water system to be filled up. If they're pointing upright towards the bottom of the seat, it will drain all of the water out of the system onto the floor underneath the van. You'll also notice then this white valve just here. Now, if you want to run directly to the hot water tank, which is on that side of that silver tank you can see, then the valve will be needing to point to the right hand side. If you want to fill the internal water tank, which is this big black tank in front here, you actually need to point this valve downwards and connect the water pump to the top connection on the outside. But what we're going to do is we're going to fill it direct to the hot water tank at the moment. So similar process, just the difference being if you fill in this big onboard tank, you need to have it down, and then to the right to fill the hot water system. So to fill the hot water system and the big onboard water tank, the only difference being that white valve to which tank you're going to fill. Once you've got all the taps open on the hot side, you're going to come to your water pump switch, turn the water pump on, and once you have water flowing out of every tap on board the caravan continuously, including the shower, you can then shut all of the taps back off, as you can see here, and that'll be your water system full. With the water system full and water coming out of every tap continuously, you can come over to your Alde heating and hot water control panel. Power on and off on the bottom left hand side of the control panel. So power on, menu, and menu again. At the top here, you've got your room temperature. You've got minus or plus for your room temperature on board the caravan. Below that, you've got your water temperature. So you've got water on. Wait for that to clear up. And then you've got water boost for if you're wanting to shower on board the caravan. So bar halfway up is hot water on. Then boost is when this bar is completely full. Below that, you have the amount of power coming into the caravan from the caravan site you're on. So you've got either off, 1, 2, or 3 kilowatts. Now, to know what to set this to, you would have to ask the site office when you arrive on your holiday, as we can't obviously tell you what their power supply is available on their site. To ignite the heating and hot water on gas, and this is only relevant for the heating and hot water, you hit this button on the bottom left hand side, which goes green, and that will ignite your gas systems for the heating and hot water. You can run them as a combination of gas and electric at the same time. Also, if it fails to ignite, it'll actually come up with gas fail at the bottom of the screen with 2 exclamation marks at either end. And I believe this light goes red if it is still the same as the older control panels. So that's your heating and hot water and your water systems on board the van. Hob, cooker and grill, all very straightforward. Just going to show you them ignited, as you can see. So you can see everything's working. Obviously hard to show you the electric ring working, but that'll come on and you'll feel the heat in the ring when you come into the van if you turn that on. Just going to try and ignite the grill, which I'm sure is probably ignited. There we go. Now it's got gas through to it, has ignited as you'd expect it to. And then your oven, which is a little bit hard to see just through that vent at the bottom there, has ignited as well. Next up, we're going to come to the fridge. The fridge is fairly self-explanatory. So you've got power on and off, top left hand side here. Just going to turn it off. So fridge off, fridge on, press the power button and it will come on. Now what it's going to see is, first of all, it's going to see mains power, so that is the power source it's going to go to. If you're on mains or gas, you can actually control the temperature of the fridge with this thermometer button on the bottom right hand side, and the more amount of bars that is filled up, the colder the fridge will be. Auto will pick up the first power source it sees, so you can actually adjust this by hitting the arrows here on the top right hand side. You've then got your 12 volt supply from the car you are towing with. It is not the 12 volt supply on board the caravan. And as you can see at the moment, it's telling me it's failed to connect to 12 volt because we're not connected to a car. Ignite the fridge on gas. Go to the gas symbol with the blue dots underneath it. And if it fails to ignite on gas, it's going to do the very same thing as what it does on the 12 volt. It's going to bring up a blue light here, and it'll actually be flashing to indicate it has failed to ignite. Like I said, on gas again, you can control the temperature on this button on the right hand side. Coming into the bathroom now. Toilet system, very easy to use, electric flush on top of the toilet. Toilet seat does actually turn for your convenience, as you can see. However, when you're removing the toilet waste cassette from underneath the caravan, the toilet does need to be in the straight on position, as it is now. Then below the toilet, you'll notice it's got a grey waste handle, which you need to push across to allow the waste into the cassette underneath the caravan. If this waste flap is open, it will actually lock the toilet waste cassette in place also, so you can't remove the cassette while the toilet is being used. Then when you're not using the toilet, do advise you put it back in the central position, because essentially then what it will do is it will stop any smells coming back up inside the van. Towel rail in the bathroom. Do remember that gets very hot, especially if you've got little ones in the van, obviously little hands touching things. Just bear that in mind. Shower works like your household shower, and obviously we've shown you how to heat the water from the control panel at the front. Do advise flat sheet for the bed at the back of the van, just because it's a lot easier than trying to get fitted ones for it. And then bed at the front pulls out like you'd expect it to, and the fold out bunk on the side. If you're not sure on that, I can show you that while you're here. So just going to go onto the outside of the caravan and show you how to engage the motor mover. So the motor mover, you've got your motor mover engagement bar here. You need to engage both movers to allow it to work. So you put the bar on, pull the bar over, lock it in place so it is in the locked position, and then you'll do the same with the other mover. The back axle, pull the bar over again and lock it into place. You'll then go round into your locker on the other side of the your battery lock here. You'll take your red power key. It's only got one way of going, so there's a little cut out the top there, and that tab goes it. Push the key in and turn it 90 degrees to turn the power onto the mover, and then you'll come into the van, double tap the power switch on the controller itself. The light will go solid green when the power's onto the mover. Release the handbrake at the front, and you'll have forward, backwards, and then you'll have your turns in the different directions. Turn the controller off, press the power button twice again, he says, and that will isolate the power to the motor mover itself. So that is the Swift Conquest 630. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate your business, and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon. Thanks again. Bye bye.